Welcome everybody, welcome to Chimoge's Comments. My name is Chimoge and this is the first ever edition of the Neptune segment, Neptune, where while I am moving files from my main device to my storage location, and these are digital files, in the midst of that process, I comment on a broad trend I've been seeing in society and or the wider world. That's the idea behind it. Anyway, forgive me. So, more on the segment. The idea is that it'll go for at least when I do it as a pre-recorded video, the video will be at least 8 minutes long, and that's because one of Neptune's numbers is 8. And Neptune is commonly known as the god of the sea, but I've talked about more information I've gotten about him, over the last several months. He is the god of the sea, but he's also the wolf. He's part of the god of thunder. Okay, so anyway, one of Neptune's numbers is 8, and it refers to some roles he performs. Anyway, let's get into it more. Let me give you guys actually 3 things to help you understand me better. This is most especially for my new viewers. Thank you to my returning viewers. I hope you get something out of this as well. And then I'll give you my full name information. I'll go into it. Today's topic is that professional soccer players today do not dribble correctly. Okay, might be controversial, but it is what it is. Anyway, so let me call in my spiritual support. Kaburnam Nogoha, Ubaku Tomka, Unyamumbuka, Ukumka, Abumama. Check my previous videos as well as any information you could find online about what is commonly called Igbo language to understand what I said. But anyway, so 3 pieces of information. First, my zodiac astrological descendant sign is Scorpio. Again, Scorpio descendant. Second, I am currently in Atlanta, Georgia. And third, my zodiac astrological rising sign is Taurus. Okay. Now here's my name information. As I said before, my given name is Chimoge. My government name is Chimoge Chijioke Ibe. My alternate white name is Chimoge Chijioke Ibe Nwoko. And my foremost nickname is Moge. And I'll add in one more. My big name is Chimoge Chijioke. It's the name that makes me feel solid. Anyway. Now into the subject. So, I've noticed a trend. Really, it's been happening my entire life. I'm 28 years old now. I'm gonna turn 29 at the beginning of 2027, just to give you context. Capricorn season, Capricorn energy here. But I've especially noticed this trend over the last few years where soccer players, professional soccer players, and for context, I mostly do watch the men's game, although I watch the women's game as well. And that's just... That's really a habit that's come from the unfortunate fact that when I was a kid, they just played men's games on TV more. So I'm just more in the habit of following it. I'm in the process of trying to adjust my percentage. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But, I just have to add this. The women's game is, how do I want to say it? The women's game is also very entertaining and useful. So, just don't draw any weird conclusions from my habit that was formed by a societal discriminatory reality. But anyway, the whole point is I'm just giving you my vantage point, but I've just noticed that dribbling is not done correctly. And I'm going to talk about 3 ways it's done incorrectly. 1, it is done too individualistically. 2, it is done without flair. And 3, it is usually done without end product. So let's go into them all. First, it's done too individualistically. Soccer is a team sport. It's 11v11. So even if a player takes the ball and is dribbling on their own power, if you want to put it like that, their teammates need to help. They need to help by creating space for the dribble and being in a good location to receive whatever the output of the dribble is, whether that's a pass or a shot. But usually this does not happen. A lot of players are in the habit of standing and watching their teammate, and they don't follow up on it. They need to do things like create space by making runs and things of that nature. Really, when another player is dribbling, you should act as if they're about to pass it to you and/or pass it to a teammate that will eventually give it to you. Don't just assume that they're going to score the 1986, Argentina World Cup goal. And yes, I know it was scored by one player, but I just want to get more in the habit of labeling goals collectively, because at the end of the day, if that player's teammates weren't on the pitch, it still wouldn't have happened. Okay. Yeah, anyway. So, don't just assume they're gonna score an amazing solo goal every time. And that's advice to everyone. I understand by the standards of today, if I'm talking to professional players, I'll be talking to people with higher stature than me, but you can talk to people with higher stature than you. And I do that with respect. Anyway, and yes, I'm not a professional, but I've played, so I know the basics of the sport. This is actually basic. What I'm getting at here is a lot of basic errors are being made. And I will say some talented players are getting away with making the errors, but that doesn't mean it's good for the game overall. Anyway, so I think I've made my point there. Too much individualism. Second, lack of flair. This is the strange one because it begs the question as to how the dribbling is happening in the first place. I mean, this is a raw clip, so I don't have a diagram or a graphic of what flair looks like, but just envision flair as when someone touches the ball, it bounces up, and it's exciting to watch. A lot of the dribbling we see now, the ball is glued to the grass, and that is iekwensu. That's just something confounding. And I'll leave it at that. So I think there's a school of thought that dribbling is more effective when there's no flair in it. I disagree. I disagree. I'll just put it like this. If someone dribbles with flair, it's harder for the defense to predict where they're going to go, and I'll leave it like that. So we have to examine why non-flair dribbling has been succeeding, and I'll leave it at that. So that's point 2. Point 3, the dribbling is often being done with a lack of end product, and this kind of subsumes them all. We have a highlight reel culture, and I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? People need to dribble when it makes sense so that at the end there's a goal. If there's constant dribbling and all that happens is at the end someone falls to the ground, that's a failure. And I'll leave it at that. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to wrap up. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you're watching this. Please also patronize my business. Check the About section and or the bio for ways to patronize. There are things you can buy. There are places where you can subscribe, and you can also donate. You can donate on Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Again, Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. And please also take care of yourself, take care of others, and support things in society that you see are doing good things, whether they be businesses or other organizations. Thank you very much, and let's all dribble more effectively. See you next time.